All right, whenever you're ready.
Okay, then I'll do something else. Does everyone know the king of rock and roll?
Yeah.
Can someone name him? Elvis. Yes. Okay, so today I want to share with you some information about one of rock and roll history's famous icons, Elvis Presley. A quote from the official Elvis website gives him credit for selling a total of more than 250 million records by the end of his career. He is truly considered a king of rock and roll. I'm sure that most of us listen to music daily, whether it is hip-hop, rap, or even punk. Rock and roll helped shape the music we know today, and Elvis was able to shake things up, literally. Today, I'll discuss Elvis's background, some key information about his career, and finally the famous Presley couple and the downfall of Elvis. So, first I'll discuss Elvis's background. Elvis Aaron Presley had a poor childhood. His parents were Gladys and Vernon, and there's Elvis right there. And he was born January 8th, 1935, in Tupelo, Mississippi. And he actually got his middle name from his stillborn twin, who was supposed to be named Garen, but Gladys took part of Garen's name and named Elvis Aaron, his middle name Aaron. And they moved to Memphis, Tennessee around age 6, and the reason they moved was because he actually had a very poor childhood, and his father didn't really have any work, so they had to move to Memphis, and that's where, in the rural area of Memphis. And for Elvis's 12th birthday, Gladys gave Elvis a guitar for, I think she bought it for $12, and that's his guitar right there. So next I'll talk about some key points of his career. Elvis started off inspired by the music he heard, like many artists do today. Elvis's musical influences were the pop and country music of the time, the gospel music he heard in church, and at all-night gospel scenes he frequently attended, and the black R&B he absorbed on the historic Beale Street as a Memphis teenager. That was a quote from the Elvis website. So on July 1954, Elvis plays a sped-up version of Arthur Big Boy's Products, That's Alright, to the Sun labels. This becomes one of the first singles that he releases. November 1955, he signs a contract with RCA Records. 2 months later, he actually does the song Heartbreak Hotel. Also in January, he makes his first television appearance for CBS. It is a very controversial broadcast because if any of you have seen him actually dancing, they call it gyrating. So, yeah. March 1957, Elvis buys Graceland for himself, his parents, and his paternal grandmother to live in for $102,500. Elvis has recorded over 600 songs in his lifetime, including the ones used in the movies he did. There's a possibility that he did over 900 songs, but it's not really proven yet since they were unreleased. And finally, I want to talk about Priscilla and Elvis and the downfall of the king. Once Elvis becomes too involved in his fame, it becomes a major turning point in his life. Elvis is drafted into the Army March 1958 and is officially discharged March 1960. People speculate that the reason he was drafted to the Army was because of the gyrating he showed off while broadcasting some of his songs. During this time, he also meets 14-year-old Priscilla Ann Wagner. May 1967, Elvis and Priscilla are married in a private ceremony amongst a small group of family and friends at the Aladdin Hotel in Las Vegas, just after 11:40 a.m. A press conference and breakfast reception followed. The couple honeymooned for a few days in Palm Springs. In February 1968, Lisa Marie Presley is born. Up until 1971, Elvis is busy with his career, doing live shows in Las Vegas and touring around the States. July 1972, Elvis and Priscilla get divorced, but it isn't granted until October 1973. Many people believe the reason why Elvis and Priscilla got a divorce was because Elvis kept too many bodyguards around Graceland and all his other various homes. So she got really tired of having all those bodyguards around her, so that's one of the main reasons they got a divorce. In August 16th, 1977, Elvis dies in Graceland of a heart failure. August 18th, 2 days later, the funeral is held. He actually took some amphetamines like a year before he died because he got into this depression from all the critics criticizing him of doing live shows in Vegas. Because there were many like mainstream artists during that time that were bigger than him, like the Beach Boys. So they just thought Elvis should step down, but he didn't want to because he really loved singing. And people speculate that he probably suicided, but it's not really true. And some interesting facts about Priscilla and Lisa Marie is that you probably know Priscilla Presley because she's been in the Naked Gun movies, if any of you have seen the movies. And Lisa Marie is a singer right now and a songwriter. And she also married Michael Jackson for 2 years, in 1994 to 1996. Okay, so today I have talked about Elvis's background, the main points in his career, and ended off with the Presley couple and his downfall. I hope you all learned something new about Elvis that you didn't know before.
All right, Teresa, go ahead. Tell us what you thought.
I thought it was really good. There was a lot of information about Elvis that I didn't know. Like, I didn't know he had a stillborn twin child. And then, and also I thought the visual aids were pretty well, what she talked about, the visual aids, like, complemented what she was saying. I thought instead of telling us that you were going to talk about this, it could have just, like float, or you could have just brought up the next topic and like let it flow and stuff. But other than that, I thought it had really detailed information about him and stuff. So I thought it was good. And that's it.
All right. I thought you recovered from the awkwardness of the attention device that you'd planned not working.